Black parents make their children pay bills when they still live at home because Black parents hold their children accountable for their failed lives.
I'm from Ohio. I got two older brothers. My mom waited until they graduated high school, down there went to college to move to Florida. She moved me to Florida. I think I was like 13, 14 years old. As soon as I got down there, I don't know nobody. We don't have any family down there. I wound up getting my first job at Burger King. I was like 14 and a half, 15 years old. She made me pay for her and my phone bill and half for the rent. She pretty much alienized me from everything I knew and just dropped me in a whole nother part of the country. It low-key continued until I was about 22. It was crazy. But all that to say, she was chasing the man pretty much. Still trying to be young. Dragged me with her. My life ain't turned out the best. I'm still kind of putting the pieces together from that, but none but facts.
So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, all the love in the world. So in today's video, we're going to listen to people share their experiences and their opinions about Black parents making their children pay bills in the house. When I saw some of these videos, I was shocked. Shocked to most of them, because you find out that some parents are charging their children rent. I don't understand. Did they ask to be born into this world? No, but you've given birth to them and you are charging them rent. So we have some people on this side that believe that it is very abnormal for Black parents or parents to make their children pay bills in the house, and we have some people on this other side that believe that, you know, making your children pay bills in the house makes them responsible. Make it make sense. I'm trying to understand, but let's watch some of these videos and we'll be back to discuss it.
Black parents make their children pay bills when they still live at home because Black parents hold their children accountable for their failed lives.
I got my first job at 10 years old, working at McDonald's. Yes, McDonald's. My mother, who didn't give two craps about me, took my original birth certificate and changed the year of birth. And let me tell you how sloppy it was. But during my interview at McDonald's, they questioned that I was young. I looked young, but it didn't stop them from hiring me. And what's so funny is I actually enjoyed working at McDonald's. My mom took my check every week, and it literally didn't bother me. I was 10 years old, working at McDonald's, eating as much food as I wanted, having milkshakes every day with no complaints. When I tell you, I left school, went straight to McDonald's, and I would work until closing, about like 1 in the morning, every day, and it did not stop me from going to school. Even on the weekends I worked. So I got paid weekly. So by the time the week ended, I was roughly making between $300 to $400 a week. My mom took every single check. But again, I'm 10 years old. I didn't mind. I didn't care. I was working at McDonald's. But let me tell you the funniest thing about it. I went to school down the street. And I believe at 10 years old, that's elementary school. And let me tell you the funniest thing. The kids would come in to McDonald's with their parents, and they were like, "Oh my God, you have a twin. There's this girl in my class. She looks just like you." Now, I was unable or not allowed to tell anybody I went to school with that I worked at McDonald's. So no one actually really knew. In their minds, I just had a twin. And, but by the time, either way, I worked at McDonald's for a good 2 years before things went downhill and they actually found out how old I was. But as I got older, I worked other jobs. So I worked all the time, because after I left McDonald's, I went right to Dunkin' Donuts. After Dunkin' Donuts, I went to a grocery store. But by the time I got to a certain age, I was like, I wanted my money. So my mother, who would take my check every week, this particular time, she just said, "Oh, I don't want your little check. You can have it." Oh, great. So when I got my first check from this job, I made $65. At that time, $65 is a lot of money. So I had a dance that Friday, and I had told my sister, "Hey, let's go downtown and go buy some matching outfits so we can wear to the dance." This is exactly what we did. We went on a shopping spree. We got matching shoes, a whole new outfit, and got our hair done for $65. I think I roughly had about $5 to $10 left, so it was roughly about $55. And when I got home, my mom had literally just got home, and she was like, "Where's your check?" I said, "I spent it. You told me I can have my check." She literally started cursing me out. She cursed me out because she wanted my check that she told me I could actually keep. Now, keeping in mind, I've been working since I was 10 years old. So by the time I graduated high school and I wanted to go to college, my mom had not one dime saved up for me. So I had to literally start over from scratch just to make a way for myself. So listening to this video said there's a lot of truth to it. But also, just for the positive side of it, it literally taught me a lot. It taught me by the time I became 18 years old that I could make it on my own. I could work a job. I can keep a job. I actually knew how to pay bills. So why stay in a place I wasn't happy with and just go on my own and make a way for myself, which I did. And the funniest thing about it, when I had my own apartment, this has to be a part 2, but I allowed my mother to come live with me in my 2-bedroom apartment, and I gave her the master bedroom. Mother ended up living with me. I allowed it because at those times we were told that you pretty much honor thy mother, thy father. So you just did as you were told. So she lived with me. She made about $80,000 a year. I paid the bills. She didn't give me a dime. And this will be a whole nother story in regards to the nightmare I lived, allowing her to live under my roof, taking care of everything, while she literally just sat there and disrespected me.
Black parents make their children pay bills when they still live at home because Black parents hold their children accountable for their failed lives. If you have a successful Black parent, the last thing they're going to do is make you pay bills because they don't need you to. And I think that this is something that's done specifically in the poor Black community. And I don't think that it has anything to do with teaching you responsibility, teaching you about bills, or teaching you how to save. I think that it's done in retaliation. I think a lot of Black parents hold resentment towards their kids because they had to put their life on hold in order to be a parent. I also feel like this is why when you get older, your parents make you feel like you owe them for being a parent because they put aside so many of their life dreams in their career and they made so many sacrifices in order to raise and take care of you. I personally feel like a lot of Black parents want their children to suffer in the same way that they had to suffer for having them. And this is not every Black parent. If you have a parent that allows you to stay home rent-free, then this is obviously not about you. But this happens in a lot in the Black community, and I personally feel like it has nothing to do with the actual bill in itself. I really think that Black parents set out to make their children struggle.
Okay, so I want to talk about the fixation that Black parents have on making their kids pay rent.
I'm glad somebody brought it up because I've been wanting to talk about this for a hot minute. I was 15 when I got my first job. I worked at Steak and Shake. I was a waitress. Now, mind you, before that, I was always a hustler. When I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I used to shovel snow for $10 a driveway. And one year, I literally paid for my own school clothes just by doing that. Always wanted my own money, always wanted to be independent. My mom didn't like that. She was very jealous of that for some reason. And I think it was the fact that I didn't need her, didn't want to come to her for anything. So when I got my first job, I was a waitress at Steak and Shake. I was making bank because look at this face. And I have a great personality. I made really good tips. My mom would not give me a ride to or from work unless I gave her gas money. Mind you, I lived in a small town. Everything was 10 minutes away from each other. You barely burned any type of gas going anywhere. And she used to make me and my brother give her $25 a week. $25 a week? I'm 15 years old. You mean to tell me all these years you never could get by without this $25 a week I was giving you? And the way she would ask for it would be like Don Corleone or like The Godfather or something. She would come to me like, you got that $25? Like, girl, the past 15 years, you wasn't getting by without this $25? Like, why are you asking me for money? Like, you gonna starve or something if I don't give you money? I remember one time she had a cold sore on her bottom lip. So I started laughing at her when she asked me for the money. And it wasn't because I was being disrespectful. It's because I was watching the cold sore like melt on her lip like that. But I said all that to say, I remember how that made me feel as a child. It made me feel like I was a financial burden and she didn't want to see me save up my own money and be independent and succeed. She did not once tell me she was proud of me for hustling and getting my own job. I used to have to like take the bus in the rain and the snow and the cold just because I wanted to save that little $5 that she would make me give her just for taking me back and forth to work. I feel like if your child is, you know, not one of those spoiled kids who just wants everything handed to them, you should want to help them. You should want to help them save. She didn't help me open up my own bank account. I had to do all of that on my own. And I think the young lady in the video I stitched was absolutely right. There's a fixation and a fascination and a jealousy attached to a lot of Black parents making their underage kids pay rent in a house that they've had to pay rent for the whole duration of their lives. As I hold my child right now, I could never, I would never, I will never. 2 weeks after he was born, I added him as beneficiary to all of my accounts, my high yield savings account, my life insurance, my 401ks. I'm about to open him up a 529 savings account that can roll over into a Roth if he decides to forego college. And guess what? When he gets a job, anything he makes and put in the banks, mama's going to double it. I'm setting my baby up for life.
So I am Black parents, right? But it don't got to do with me being failed. It's at best I gave you one bill, a cable bill. your cell phone bill. You know, something like that, just to teach you responsibility. Because I got to pay my bills regardless of whether you're here or not. So, one thing my kids had to learn later on in life when they wanted to jump out here in the real world, had never really paid no bills and everything, didn't realize how expensive things were and how quick that 30-day turnaround come. Now they appreciate certain things. Get them to take care of me? No. Because when you leave, I still need light. I still need gas. I still need my internet. So it was just to teach you how to handle one bill, a smaller bill, so you get used to that, so you can handle yourself. And then do my failed accomplishments. I got to live regardless. Y'all kids are crazy, thinking you don't have to pay bills.
This topic is very strange. I'm still finding it very hard to believe that, you know, parents make their children pay bills like rent to stay in the house because of entitlement and not because of the parents actually cannot afford to pay the bills. How am I going to put this now? There's a difference between when, you know, things are very rough and all hands need to be on deck. You know, the parents are trying to pay the bills and they're struggling, and maybe their child is up to, you know, maybe 18 and more, or even an adult, and you know, they just have to contribute or do one or two things just to ease some things. That's understandable to an extent, I think, but not subjecting your teen child, your little child, your child that is still supposed to be under your care, subjecting them to paying bills at an early age, you know, making them even work. A child that is supposed to be in school learning with her peers, she's going to work, she's going for shift, or he's going for shift or something, and that child is not growing like a proper child. That child is not growing at the same pace his mates or her mates are growing. Make it make sense. Because you feel you sacrifice that's not an excuse, because that child did not beg to be born. That child never begged to be born. You decided to give birth to that child for your own, you know, personal reasons, and now it's time for you to train your child. You're asking your child to pay rent and pay for groceries, and this is not, you know, buy their own groceries, you know, as an adult or something. You are subjecting your little child to labor. I really don't understand. I'm finding it very, very hard to understand, but it's just too sensitive of a topic, because a lot of people have gone through this, are going through this, and it's just somehow. Then for the people or the parents that think that making your little children pay bills in the house is making them responsible, that's a lie, and that is not even the way to go. You can teach your child financial responsibilities with other methods, and not forcing them to pay bills in the house, forcing them to pay rent. A child of 16 years is already paying rent in your house. A child of 17 years, 15 is already contributing for rent, is contributing for whatever. If your child is 18, 19, you know, you can ask them to pay a certain percentage of their phone bill or something that, you know, they use, so that they understand that, you know, they in life you need to work, or you need to be responsible for some certain things. Everything is not going to be handed over to you. That's understandable. But subjecting your little child to pay bills because you want to teach them financial responsibility, I don't know if it's a 1960 something attitude, but it needs to stop. And I need black parents to understand that this thing is not normal. What do you guys think about this topic? Do you think it is okay for children to pay bills in the house? Even saying it sounds somehow in my ear, but there are still some people that have this school of thought. So if you think it's okay, you know, you can share your opinions in the comment section. If not, what do you think? You know, how do you think this thing can be stopped or encouraged? You can just leave it in the comment section. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Benita. Welcome to my channel. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.